My dear brothers and sisters, it seems to me incumbent upon us to understand wider and deeper levels of the world in which we live. So why not start with the economy? It is by no means as dry as dust as in the Economics 101 school books. It is a living thing. It breathes, it cycles, it even convulses. It is sustained by the intentional expenditure of muscles, nerves, and sinews of 160 million working Americans. Let's begin with apples and oranges. Why not? Imagine that one apple trades for 2 oranges or for 3 carrots. This is extraordinary. This is extraordinary. So we have in effect apple money. So many, one apple can purchase utterly different, a profoundly different fruit, or an utterly different vegetable. And even more extraordinarily and miraculously, I would argue, an apple can exchange in sufficient quantity, maybe bushels of apples, can exchange for a cell phone. Could objects, material objects, be more different? Yet they all have a profound commonality. In proper proportions, they all exchange with one another. With sufficient quantity of apples, I can buy anything in the world. Anything. But apples are cumbersome. Apples, it would take a whole lot to go to the farmer's market with a sack of apples and exchange the apples for sweet corn and tomatoes and carrots and cabbages. So instead of apple money, why not coinage? Here I have in my hand, imagine, a gold coin. And a sufficient number of apples can exchange or trade for a gold coin. This is much easier, you will agree. I can simply slip this in my pocket and take it right down the street to the farmer's market. So much easier and so much less cumbersome. But then again, who would want to go out at night especially, carrying in one's pocket coinage, especially that of gold? So instead of gold coinage, why not paper? Nothing wrong with that, as long as the paper was redeemable in gold. Then I knew that at my whim or wish or desire, I can go to a bank or whatever, or money trader, and trade a sufficient amount of money, a sufficient quantity of my paper dollars for gold. For gold. So much easier to put in one's wallet and travel with, for sure. Now imagine, however, that if the link between gold coinage and paper was broken, and that we just had paper. It is what it is. There is no more any link with gold or any other precious metal. It's now fiat money. Originally, paper money was redeemable in gold. But in 1971, President Nixon changed all that. He ended the linkage between the dollar and gold. Since that time, the currency has been backed up by thin air. They can now print all the dollars they wish to. And it should come as no surprise, my friends, that since that time, surprise, surprise, not only has the United States never run a budgetary surplus, but indeed year in and year out, it has run a deficit. Why not? Why not? Why not? Nothing stopping them from printing all the paper that they need. This enabled the Federal Reserve to print money to help pay for the war in Vietnam and the space program. Now I mentioned that the economy was a living thing. It's subject to gyrations. It's subject to cycles. It even convulses. One of the most severe convulsions was the 2007-2008 financial crisis. It was the most severe recession since the Great Depression. Since then, growth has been anemic, 2% a year or less. It may be that we have never really come out of the 2008 recession. The response of the Fed, you've guessed it, has been to pump more money, more fiat money into the economy. They give it a fancy title. They call it quantitative easing. Sure enough, thanks to quantitative easing, or just printing fake money, there's been a housing bubble, a cryptocurrency bubble, and a stock market bubble. Instead of looking at the deep structural causes, the shift from a manufacturing to a service economy, the invariable response has been print more money. Now I know they say inflation is beginning to moderate. It's down to 6.5%, from 6.5% annually, and this is down from 7.1% in November. But this is actually due to the significant fall in gasoline and energy prices. Sadly and tragically enough, food prices are continuing to climb relentlessly. We all know this too well when we go to the farmer's market and we look at the price tags on organic fruit and vegetables. In my opinion, inflation is poised to start rising again. It will be propelled by a weakening dollar, surprise, surprise, federal budget deficits, and soaring consumer credit. The Fed is caught in a trap. If it continues to fight inflation by raising interest rates, the bubbles will pop, and there will be a severe recession, much worse than 2008. So therefore, it seems to me obvious that sooner or later, the Fed will give up the inflation fight. It will pivot away from money tightening. It will try to reflate the bubble economy by, guess what? Printing more and more fake money, and this will send inflation soaring. Either way, there will be a collapse. It has already started. Look at the layoffs, the job layoffs in the high-tech industry. How will it end? Most likely in hyperinflation, followed by a chain reaction of bankruptcies and an economic crash. We say, brothers and sisters, start your victory garden. Now, during these winter months, is the time to plan it out. Get it together. Join a community garden. I am confident that together we will build here an edible schoolyard for the American spirit. We treasure your comments and criticisms. Please leave a comment down below. Let us go forward. My privilege to share with you.